Hey everybody, thanks for watching No Excuses, and I am so pleased to have this wonderful lady with me today. Not only she's talented in so many ways, she's overcome so many objections, and we'll get into that. My good dear friend, Kathrina Miccio. How are you, my doll?
I'm amazing.
You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So I'm going to make you blush a little bit, if you allow me.
Okay.
Not only you won 20 awards for a film that you created off the cuff.
Yes.
Okay, named St. Joseph's. Through all that, you also conquered something that most people have a tough time with, just not doing anything, which is breast cancer.
Yes.
And that in itself inspires me every moment I think about you, how tough you are, and how accomplished you've created yourself. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. It's that show, St. Joseph's, I watch it, I laugh every time. I say to myself, okay, I know it's going to be funny now, but I still laugh.
there's little nuances that you catch every time you watch it another time.
It's absolutely one of those films.
Funny.
Yes. It's one of those films you say, I think I got it, and you watch it again and you're like, no, I didn't get it. It caught me again. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
So 20 awards. How does that feel?
It's incredible. I mean, I made this little short just to kind of pay back, you know, for what I went through. I wanted people to laugh instead of feeling sorry for myself.
Oh, you're amazing.
And it just blew up. You know, it was this sweet little story, comedy with no cursing, nothing. It was just like a feel-good film that I think that's exactly what it turned out to be. People just really, they not only if they relate to it because they know the superstition, if you sell, you know, if you want to sell your house, you take a little statue of St. Joseph and you bury it in your backyard, you sell your house fast. You know, like sometimes I've done some Q&A in some of the festivals. Sure. And people are like, I have a question. I know that superstition. My aunt, my friend did that. They sold the house like in 3 days.
That's so great.
Yeah. So, like, to get feedback like that, and I would just like watch people in the audience smile at parts, you know, of the film, and it just made me so happy to see that.
Well, I was upon that audience and I looked around to so many people, and I don't even know how to count how many people had this huge smile on their face, tears rolling down their eyes from laughter, and at the same token, we all appreciate you as a person.
Oh, thank you.
You know, it's really amazing. So how did you, I mean, this is not easy. And you made it easy, which is the most precarious thing on my schedule of asking you this question. With everything you're going through with breast cancer, how the heck did you keep yourself focused on something at this magnificence? Because it's not like you created something that somebody said, okay, we're just going to watch it. You created something that everybody said, wow. It's really that simple.
Well, you know, going through a horrible year and a half of what I went through, first of all, you know, getting a diagnosis of breast cancer when there's absolutely no history at all of any kind of cancer in my family. First you have to go, okay, what? how did that happen? You know, and like, you know, when you're young, you think you're invincible.
Absolutely.
Right?
We all do.
And you go, cancer? No, that happens to other people.
That's right.
And especially when there's no history.
Right.
That happened, I'm good. You know, I'll be good forever because
I don't have to worry.
I don't have to worry because there is no history. Baloney. Because I think I was probably a product of my environment.
Okay.
From living in Staten Island with the largest landfill in the world. Pollution. And then I lived in Soho.
Sure.
During 9/11. So I think for sure I was a product of my environment. Unfortunately.
Right.
And also, who knows what's put in food, even though I try to eat organic and whatever, you still eat in restaurants, you don't know what they're putting in the food.
Exactly.
So, you know, who knows?
Right.
Who knows how it happened? I asked my doctors, how did this happen? Just one cell, you know, went awry. And also, I was in a marriage. It wasn't a good marriage. It was an abusive marriage. And when I divorced him, it was the same month that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. The same month.
Wow.
Yeah, so I thought, okay, now I'm gonna, you know, start everything all over again. And my credit score was amazing. I was, you know, started becoming financially secure with myself, and then everything went down because I couldn't work for a year and a half. They threw me immediately into chemo, and they said, you know, all right, this is the schedule that you're going to have for a year and a half. You're going to have 6 months of chemo. You're going to have surgeries. You're going to have radiation 5 days a week for 3 months.
Holy cow.
And I'm like, what? You know,
wow.
and also, and this is like 1 week before chemo, they go, okay, right before your second treatment, we suggest that you shave your hair because, you know, you live alone. You really don't want to take a shower and then all the hair is going to be at the bottom of your shower, or you're going to wake up one day and it's all going to be over your pillow. I said, okay, I guess I'm going to shave my head then because I definitely don't want that.
Yeah, who does?
I think that would be worse.
Right.
So I actually got a wig, right, and I went to my hairdresser. And he's a comedian. He's so funny. And so he just, you know, we put my hair in a bunch of ponytails, and he gave them to me, you know, and I still have the hair. And then he put the wig on right away. So, and then he cut the wig to what my hair was.
That's
you know,
so sweet.
Yeah, so it was and I tell people, you know, sometimes I can't help them financially now, but I'm planning on it with my fundraiser. But what I can do is tell them the things to do to try to get through it a little easier.
Sure.
So that made it a little bit easier, and I've told a few people to do that. Just, you know, don't get wait until you have like little strings of hair. It's just not a good thing. You know, get the wig, do it, and then, you know, you and people have thanked me for that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's amazing.
So a lot of it I had to learn on my own.
And then through all this, not only you have that challenge, and you create this film, like you didn't have enough to do, you create this foundation, Paint This Pink.
Yes.
Which, on top of all your talents, which people don't know, and I'm going to embarrass you again because I love doing this, because you deserve it, and that's what friends are for, right?
Thank you.
Is you are the absolute amazing artist.
Oh, thank you.
I've seen your paintings at the cutting room, and I'm a big jazz fan.
Yeah.
So and rock and roll, of course, and I see these artists that you painted, and I'm like, I can't say what I want to say on film because it would have a lot of bleeps. It's you. Holy cow. Like, you have all these things going on, and the only thing out of your mind is, how do I help other people?
Yeah.
So you create this organization, Paint Us Pink, to help people with that bridge, which is the most broken one, right?
Yes.
As you know,
Yes.
and I know through my mom, who survived as well, is this big bridge of people who have insurance, but yet you don't have enough money to do other things.
You know, yeah. I mean, Obamacare got me through all of my treatments and everything. I added it all up. It was way over $1 million of
course.
treatments.
Absolutely.
But you don't think about
Who takes you to the doctor?
the gas.
The gas.
You know,
Who holds up your head when you're ill?
But my rent.
Your
and
rent. You can't go to work during these times.
No,
It's
for
impossible.
a year and a half.
Right.
So basically everything, when I got divorced, I guess it came at a good time, which is horrible to say, because we made a little bit of money renovating the house, so we made a little bit of money, and that's what I lived off of.
But not
then
everybody has that opportunity.
No.
So you said,
I lived off of it, but then that disappeared too.
Right.
So now I was in the red, or the black, whatever. What is it?
the red
when
is
it's-
right. You're
the
right.
red. I was in the red
Yeah,
when I was
perfect.
negative.
Right.
And so, is that fair?
No.
It's just not fair
It's not.
that people, and you know, and then there's some organizations which are great, but they asked me for my bank accounts. They want to know everything, every little bit of money that I had saved.
Wow.
You know, my retirement funds or whatever. And like, do I have to go through all of everything that I have in my life that I've worked for all my life because I'm sick?
Wow.
It's just so wrong.
And it's painful, I'm sure. There's a
And it
lot
was-
going on, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Who needs
why do I have to? And then they go, well, you have a car. Yeah, should I sell my car?
Wow.
You know,
got that.
oh, well, and then go through all my bank accounts. And what did you spend this month? I bought dog food for my dogs. Oh, well, you have dogs? Well, if you can't afford dogs, maybe you shouldn't have them. What?
The one thing
Are
that
you-
brings solace.
Are you
to each of
kidding
us.
me? Do you have any idea? I just hung up on them then because
goodness.
my dogs got me through my divorce. They got me through cancer. They were unconditional.
Right.
There's something to hug. You know, are you kidding me that I was alone and you're telling me I shouldn't have my dogs?
That's horrible.
What?
Wow.
It's
You know what, Kat?
horrible.
We're going to take a little bit of break,
Yeah.
and we got to come back to this because
Okay.
it just blows my mind how on the outside everything looks so perfect,
Yeah.
but here you are, somebody on the inside, and it's just not really happening. Thanks so much, folks. We'll be right back with No Excuses and my wonderful, wonderful, heart-filled guest. Love you too, honey. Kathrina Miccio. We'll be right back. Welcome back once again to No Excuses and my amazing guest, Kathrina Miccio. How are you, darling?
I'm so great.
I know. We left off with the challenge you had between having cancer and their lack of a gap, because insurance does a great job, but there's like, how do I pay for everything else? Right? So your amazing wisdom was, I have to do more than think of me. I'm going to create an organization called Paint Us Pink.
Yes.
Where you're going to give back to people who have a tough time like yourself with this bridge.
Yeah.
So how did you come about that, and what was the challenge that you experienced that made you think of this?
Well, you know, being a freelancer, an artist, an actress, and, you know, everything that I don't have a full-time job.
So self-employed.
I'm totally
right?
self-employed. I freelance. You know, we don't have disability insurance or anything like that. So what happens if you get sick and you can't work for a year and a half?
Wow, long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
And that's common with cancer.
It's true. a year and a half of treatments, you know, 6 months of chemo, you know, radiation and surgeries and all of this. There's a lot of downtime in that.
Sure.
You know, with everything, with all of it. You know, I can't say one was worse than the other. Radiation was pretty bad.
Absolutely.
You know, I probably had, they told me that I had probably one of the worst cases of infection that they ever saw.
Amazing.
From the radiation, but I healed the best that they've ever seen too.
Really?
So I went from one extreme to the other.
Amazing.
And I think it was my will. You know, maybe it's my good Italian skin. I don't know. But I was just like,
that hard ass that you are.
I was like, there's no way. This is not fair that I should be scarred from cancer. It's not fair that I should have cancer and then be scarred from it. Oh, it's not fair. So I just started putting all this cream and, you know, whatever. And you know, I dealt with it. I dealt with the pain, which was excruciting.
I'm sure.
Because they radiated me from here. I had to stay like this for 45 minutes. It was from here to here to all the way, all of this area, and all of it was burnt to a crisp.
Whew.
So yeah, it was, you know, you burn your finger a little bit on a teapot or, you know, little fires, right? It hurts like mad.
Nerve endings.
The little teeny weeny blister hurts. Imagine all that, you know, like, yeah, so it was horrible. So that downtime was bad. But, you know, in all of that time, I kept thinking to myself, how I know that I'm going to survive. I know that I'm going to be good.
Good for you.
How am I going to be able to pay back the universe and God for my life?
Right.
That I can continue to create and make amazing things and have the wow factor of everything that I do, whether it's art or whether it's acting or whether it's making movies or whatever I do. That is really what I live for, is to have that wow factor.
And you have it.
Oh,
art,
thanks.
the film, amazing. Just
and that's
amazing.
what I want. That's all I want, is to have the, you know, people like smile. And I really constantly thought about, how am I going to do this?
It's fantastic.
So I kept my mind busy during the entire time by doing that, not feeling sorry for myself. You know, sometimes it was hard not to, you know, especially, you know,
of course,
a lot of the downtime. Right. But I never said, "Ooh, why me? Why me?" You know, it wasn't that. It was, okay, I got to deal with this now, and how am I going to now pay back for my for my life? And just put out positive energy and help other people.
And that's what's needed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not alone.
No.
And you are just so amazingly thinking about everyone else but yourself. And you came up with, how do I give back? So what was your next step?
Wow. Well, I made this film, and it's a feel-good film.
It sure is.
You know? And it's, you know, who knew that it was going to win 20 awards? 20 awards. And it's...
So let me just interject, because it wasn't like 20 awards in one place. It was 20 awards across the country and Europe.
And Europe.
And Europe.
Yes. You studied. Yeah, it is.
Well, I adore you. You know that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like one of my first wins was in Italy.
Yes.
I had They really like it there. They got it.
Right.
You know, I was like, oh, is the Catholic Church gonna like get offended by this? It's a superstition about burying a statue of Saint Joseph. Are they gonna get weirded out? But they loved it. They loved
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So that was really cool. And I went to a lot of the festivals, a lot of the film festivals that I was nominated for, and a lot of them I won. So I won like 3 Best Actress awards. Vinnie Pastore won for supporting, and Angela Pietro-Pinto won. You met her.
Yes.
She's so wonderful. She plays Virginia,
she's amazing.
Oh,
God, is she amazing.
She's so wonderful. She was in Goodfellas.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so she won, and the whole ensemble won, and but most of it was for the film itself.
Right.
You know, so that's what made me happy, that people got it, and
that's
that
great.
they just, you know, understood it, and they laughed.
And there was something else in your life that I know is a big thing going on that you like to share, is about New Year's Eve.
Oh, this past New Year's Eve?
So
it was so great. It was the best New Year's Eve that I ever had.
That's great.
Now you're going to think this is crazy, okay?
No, not at all. Coming from you.
How this happened, I don't know, but I end up having to get the schedule was, and I looked at my schedule, I'm like, really? I have to get a mammogram, an ultrasound, and see my surgeon all on New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve.
Right.
Really? Great. Woohoo! Blow the horn, you know. All right. Woo-hoo. Okay. You know what? Again.
Right.
I got to make this good.
Absolutely.
Right? I can't feel sorry about myself. I said, I'm going to turn this into a good thing now. Okay. So I have a friend. His name is Ed Heck.
Okay.
He's an amazing artist, right? And he has, he's kind of like a Keith Haring. He's yes, his career is growing into that kind of status.
That's awesome.
And he's been, he's kind of, kind of has the same idea, like ideas that I do, that he just wants to keep giving back. And so he created these tiny little canvases. It's a heart with a little happy face in it.
That's awesome.
Right? So it's hearts for art, or art for hearts, or something like that. And I said, oh, how cute those are. And they were all different colors. And each one of them, if they were to sell in a gallery, they're worth like $1,000. But whatever the monetary sum is worth, you know, whenever somebody looks at this little thing, they smile, right?
Right.
So I said to him, how cool would it be if, because I knew he was giving these out.
Sure. And
he wanted a source to give them out to some people that would really appreciate it, right?
Oh, wow.
So I said, well, it just so happens that, you know, 3 years ago, I was in chemo on Christmas Eve. How cool would it be?
So we go from New Year's Eve to Christmas Eve.
Right. 3 years ago, I had the thing.
Sure.
On Christmas Eve, I was in chemo. I said, how cool would it be if the people that are in the chemo rooms now, I would be able to hand them
oh my gosh,
one of these little happy face hearts, right? So he goes, Kat, not only, he says, meet me for breakfast tomorrow, right, you know, at this deli, at this diner right near the hospital. Okay. I meet him there. He's got a bag full of
oh
these.
Oh my
things.
God. So we're going to get into that in a second.
Yes,
we're going to take a little bit of a break. Because oh my God, a bag full of hearts. Can it be any better? Thank you so much, Kat. We'll be right back with no excuses and Kat's bag full of hearts. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to No Excuses. I'm with my guest, Kathrina Miccio, and we were talking about a bag full of hearts where we left off. So how did this all happen with your friend and you got these hearts?
So my friend is Ed Heck, and he's an amazing artist. He's got kind of the style of Keith Haring, but he does like these little ducks, and so he's been doing these hearts for art, or hearts for art.
Okay.
And he's been giving them out.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And he had given me one, and I said, wow, this would be so nice.
Sure.
You know, I have to go, of all days, to go for mammogram and biopsy and go see my surgeon, to go, you know, on New Year's Eve. How cool would it be to be able to give some of these out, right? To the people.
Once again, you giving back.
These people that.
You're awesome.
I mean, I was there for Christmas Eve, and I know how horrible it was to be there on Christmas Eve, you know, getting chemo. Who wants to be there, you know?
Right.
I said, how cool would it be if I would be able to make someone smile. Aww. You know, with these little hearts. So I went to go I had the mammogram, I had the ultrasound, and I had to go run down. Before I went to the chemo rooms, I had to go run down and put money in the meter, right? So I'm like, I gotta carry these things with me. I was afraid to, like, you know. So I took them with me. I run down, I go into the elevator, and I see this woman and her husband. She's got the turban on. It was very me 3 years ago, you know, with the turban, and she had no eyebrows, no eyelashes, and they just like walked into the elevator. Both their faces were down, and they looked so sad. And I'm in the elevator, and I have this bag full of hard art, you know, and I pulled one out. I was like, can I please give this to you? Please.
That's so amazing.
All of a sudden, she just looked at it, and she got this huge smile on her face. And even the husband was smiling. I said, oh my God, you know, like I was like tearing up, and while she was smiling. How could you not be? It was so cool. And so that was the first one that I was able to give. And then I went to see my doctor, and I gave him one, and his nurse that, you know, they were so great to me. And then I'm like, I'm gonna give some out in the chemo rooms, you know. And I was like, oh, that's so nice of you. I said, yeah, I'm gonna go. So I go down to the chemo rooms. And I tell the girls at the desk, I'm going to give these out. They're like, oh. And all of a sudden, I saw the door. I saw the door to go in.
Oh, bawling?
I lost it.
Oh, God.
I lost it. Because I hadn't been in there in 3 years, you know. I'm like, okay, I can't go in like this. Right. What's the point?
So much for happiness.
Yeah. Let me put my big girl pants on, you know, get my stuff together, and go. Just get in there and do it. So I got myself together. I wiped the tears, and I went in there, and I was able. The first woman was like her daughter was pushing her in a wheelchair, and I could see that she was not in great shape at all, you know. And she was the first person that I was, you know, in the room. I was able to, and she was everybody, every one that I gave out, you know, a heart to, they just smiled. It was the greatest New Year's Eve. I couldn't have asked for something better, to be able to have these people that were so sad and feeling sorry for themselves, that they're there on New Year's Eve getting chemo. How horrible is that, right? Right. That I was able to make them smile.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
It was so amazing. I said, you know what? I'm not doing anything tonight. I cannot top this feeling. Right. I don't need to blow a horn and, you know, go woo-hoo-hoo and drink champagne. I don't need to, because that was the coolest, most fulfilling thing that I could have ever done.
You know, Kat, that's who you are, though. You are that amazing lady that brings so many smiles to all of us, not just with your writing of the movie, but you as a person. And you provide so much energy and spunk and evaluation of life. You just summarized how important life is in that single term. I can't be more happy that you're on the show explaining what you've done for all of us, because you've done it for me as well. You actually have. My mom went through it, and hearing how strong you are and how grateful you are, which is very difficult to be, as you know, right? When you're going through this tough time, how can you be grateful? You're wondering why this is happening to me, but you provided, and I just can't be more happy for you to be upon us. And you're an angel in our life, so thank you. So thank you so much.
I tried, you know, I'm just trying to make people happy.
And you have.
And that's all, that's my, you know, that's just what I try to wake up every day. I'm thankful that I'm here, and I just want to make people happy.
And you will, and you have, and I know you will continue to be.
Thank you.
So I can't thank you enough. This is just awesome that you shared this.
Thanks.
You know, you exposed the most difficult things and the most happy things all at once. And this is what No Excuses is all about. Somebody like you, not me, you, giving inspiration to the world and your fans as well. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely. And if anybody needs to, you know, talk about it, if I'm, you know, I'm available to
How do people find you?
Well, I'm actually doing 2 film festivals right now, and that's another really cool thing. You know, I'm able to give people awards.
Yes.
I'm able to hand people awards
on top of smiley faces.
On top of the smiley faces, I'm able to present people with awards for their, you know, for their acting and for their filmmaking, and you know. And then I make them smile, you know, and so I have 2 film festivals: the Cutting Room International Short Film Festival, and now I have a second one that I'm working with my friend Alex Guarino through the AOF Film Festival in Las Vegas.
That's awesome.
It's the Venus Italian International Film Festival.
That's great.
Yeah, so you know, or they could get in touch with me through Paint Us Pink.
Paint Us Pink is the way to go.
www.paintuspink.com or Noble.Productions.
Okay, great.
Is my production company.
We're going to leave it with Paint Us Pink.
Okay.
Look at you, how you're dressed. And you are just amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I love you.
I love you too, honey. You are just splendid.
Thanks
for watching No Excuses. This amazing lady, Paint Us Pink. Don't be bashful to stay in touch with her, because she is that big-hearted. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again. This is No Excuses.
Thank you.